Prismatic Shard, the magical rainbow rock from the sky. It's a beautiful mineral shrouded with mystical mystery, and I want to know more. I'm sure Gunther will tell you. No, wait, don't donate your first one. There are so many other things to do with this shard, and I'll be going over all of that, and all of the ways that you can get your hands on your first one, plus some great tips to get even more. Hey, hi, howdy, and hello friends, it's Wickedy here, and yeah, sure, I've made a prismatic video before. But that was before the 1.5 update came out, like actually right before it did, and there is a bunch more going on with Prismatic Shards now, so now that the mobile 1.5 update is out, I figured it was about time to update this guide too. Just a quick heads up, there might be some spoilers peppered in here, but I'm gonna mark the moments for you so you know where they are. Let's start with how to get a hold of these. Now, let me fix some misinformation in my previous guide. Gem nodes. Okay, here's the deal. I mentioned that the smooth purple rocks have a chance to give you a prismatic shard, but I'm pretty sure that that was a lie. I get a lot of my information from the wiki, and here it says that you can get it, but not here. And in my many years of playing Stardew, I have never found it this way, so I'm not sure that that's a thing. Still good gems from that though. Okay, moving on. Apparently there is a way to find prismatic shards that completely surprised me, and I never even knew it was possible. There have been reports of people finding prismatic shards in the trash cans around Pelican Town. Now it hasn't happened to me, and I can't find a clip of it anywhere, so I can't 100% confirm that, but I can only assume that prismatic shards are added to the loot pool after reaching the bottom of the mines like other gems. I don't know, but I'll sure be checking the trashes to try to find one. Who am I kidding? I'm checking the trashes anyways because I love trash. Fishing is a way to find prismatic shards. I wouldn't say it's a great way to find them, but it sure is a way. The first one I ever found was actually in a treasure chest from fishing, so it can't be too bad, right? There are a ton of great things that you get from treasure chests, and sometimes what you get is dependent on where you are at or what fishing zone you cast out to. Fishing level and luck can have an effect on the goodies inside too. Prismatic shards only have one requirement, and that is that you are at least level 6 in fishing. So any chest anywhere and any distance from the shore could potentially have one inside. But we gotta talk about the chances. Sure, you can hook one up, but the chances that a prismatic shard is going to be in that chest is very slim. It's a 0.012% chance, down from the 0.014% now that we have more items in the mix with the 1.5 update. Daily luck does affect the chances of getting certain items in treasure chests, with the prismatic shard being one of them. So if you are planning on this method, be sure to fish on a lucky day. Next up, we have fish ponds. Well, one specific fish pond to be exact. Rainbow trouts are what you want to raise if you are wanting a chance at prismatic shards. What's great is that fish ponds don't take a lot to build, so building a few is pretty easy. Once summer rolls around, head on up to the river or to the mountain lake during a sunny day and catch yourself some. After you fill out your pond and meet their demands a few times, once you get the population up to at least 9 rainbow trout, there is a chance that a prismatic shard will pop up. The chances aren't that great percentage-wise. It's a 0.1% chance that you'll get a prismatic shard. But did you know that getting a prismatic shard from a fish pond is able to be predicted? What you get from a fish pond has something to do with the location the fish pond is on the farm. And if you ever want to force a shard to pop up from a fish pond, check out Blade's map predictor and input your save and correct fish pond information. You can move your pond to the correct spot, with the item being in the top left section of the pond, and you should have your shard the next day. Fascinating stuff. You can really get the most out of those ponds that you can with this tool, as long as you have the farm space. Now, I do love Omni Geodes. They're a great source of a lot of great items, including our favorite rainbow goodie, the Prismatic Shard. Omni Geodes can be found many different ways: by panning, bought from Sandy on Wednesday, Crows on Tuesday, as a reward for the Geologist Bundle, from octopus fish ponds, supply crates on the beach farm, haunted skulls before completing the Vault Bundle, rocks in the mines level 21 and lower, any rock and skull cavern, carving ghosts, and dig spots on Ginger Island. Oh, so many ways. Cracking these geodes open over at Clint's or with a geode crusher might give you a prismatic shard. You have a 0.4% chance at getting one, or a 1 in 250 chance. Now, what you find in a geode is actually determined by your world seed, so luck has absolutely nothing to do with it. You can find out for sure what you're getting from any geode if you'd like with the Stardew Valley Predictor. Pretty cool. Mystic stones are so pretty I almost don't want to break it open, but if there's a chance for a Prismatic Shard, I'm going for it. These stones have the highest percentage chance out of most things on this list, and that's 25%, which is a 1 in 4 chance. Now, that is not saying that you will for sure get a shard after mining 4 of these, it's the percentage chance per stone. Math sure is fun. These stones give you iridium and gold and often show up in the quarry and at times in the levels of the mines 101 and lower, and over at Skull Caverns, and the later dungeons that came with the 1.5 update. Having good luck boosts your chance of seeing gem nodes, so I'm sure it can help with your chances of finding these. Now, if you don't mind resetting your day, we can sort of force prismatic shards out of mystic stones. If you have spotted one in your quarry, check it first thing in the morning. If you didn't get a shard from that mystic stone, reset the day and come back the next day and try again. The chances change on a per day basis. Iridium nodes are a great way to find prismatic shards and are actually the most common way. These ore nodes can be found in Skull Cavern, showing up with more frequency if you have high luck and are getting deeper in the cavern. They can show up in the later dungeon as well, and the quarry at times. If you are at level 10 in mining and have the Hilltop Farm or the Four Corners Farm, iridium nodes can show up in this little mining area. Chances aren't as good as a mystic stone, but iridium nodes are much more common with a 4% chance of giving you a prismatic shard. There is a chance at finding a prismatic shard through combat before you even reach the bottom of the mines, and that is from Shadow Shaman and the Shadow Brute. I totally forgot that was a thing until it happened to me one day. These bad guys can be found once you reach the 80s in the mines, and I love to slay them. Mostly for being bullies to my favorite Krobus, but because they can drop smelted bars too. The chances of getting a prismatic shard from them is a 0.05% chance, so it's not too bad if you are grinding for the Savage Ring. And then once you reach the bottom of the mines, any monster will now be given the chance of dropping a prismatic shard or a diamond now too. It can be a bug on level 2, a slime in the secret woods, or some random bat attacking you on the farm. Any monster now. The only thing you need to do is get to the bottom of the mines and that's it, and a prismatic shard will be that much closer to your grasp. The odds are a 0.05%, just like the shadowy guys, so I like to have my burglar ring on, like all the time. If there's a chance, I'll take it. A little chance from every monster isn't so bad, right? And of course, after reaching the bottom of the mines, we can now get access to Skull Cavern. Here there are 2 monsters that have their own separate chances to drop prismatic shards on top of the every monster chances. Serpents and mummies both come with the highest chance out of all of the monsters. It's a 0.1% chance of dropping the shard. So the prismatic shard chances for these monsters aren't determined by reaching the bottom of the mines, but being that you have to actually get the skull key to get there, it's like a thing. Serpents are a bit special though, if you have the option to have monsters spawning on the farm. As you have a higher combat skill, harder monsters will show up, serpents included. That way, you can fight serpents without even reaching Skull Cavern and have a small chance of prismatic shards. I don't really recommend that though. Okay, let's talk about getting lucky. Skull Cavern is probably the most reliable way to get many shards from Iridium Nodes and whatnot, but while you are there, you'll likely run across treasure rooms. In fact, there is a guaranteed treasure room on level 100 as long as the secret node quest for that floor isn't active. Treasure rooms start appearing after level 10, and boosting your luck with a good luck day and luck boosting food and drinks really helps the odds here of finding a room, but what is inside isn't affected by the luck boost. There is a 1 in 24 chance that the treasure inside is a prismatic shard and not just another pack of cactus seeds. Now, before I get into the spoiler shards, let's talk about the cheaty way. It's really simple. If you have the option to add brackets to the names of things in Stardew Valley, you can do so on PC, then you can use the item spawner to cheat a shard in. The easiest way to do that is to buy a chicken at Marnie's Ranch and name it this, which is the item code for the Prismatic Shard. You can always rename your chicken later. Now, some people name themselves after item codes so that sometimes when someone talks to you, it gives you items. It's cheaty, but it works. Oh, you can name your pet and get an item once too. Okay, there are 2 spoiler methods of getting prismatic shards that I'll go over now. Skip ahead to this portion if you want to move on to the rest of the video. There is actually some guaranteed prismatic shards that were introduced with the 1.5 update. The first being from the Volcano dungeon. You can find Mystic Stones and Omni Geodes and Iridium Nodes in here too, sure, but once you make it past the 9th level of the volcano and get to the top, there is a chest here with a guaranteed prismatic shard. You will only get 1 from here. Next up, we have something that gives us prismatic shards every day, and that is the Statue of True Perfection. There's a perfection rating added with the 1.5 update, and when you get 100% and check your perfection rating at the Walnut Room again the next day, you'll be gifted this statue. It will generate a prismatic shard for you, 1 every day. Alright, that's all of the different ways that we can get shards. So, what I believe to be the best way that I find to get a bunch of shards is to really exploit luck as much as you can. Really load up on it and go to Skull Cavern on a max luck day as early as you can with a warp totem. Now, there is a new ring, the Lucky Ring, that you can get, and its effects stack too. Get yourself that special charm. Grab yourself a magic rock candy or 2 and some ginger ale and a bunch of staircases that you traded for on Sunday from the jade that you've been collecting from crystallariums and your favorite explosives, and get ready for a deep dive. I like to get down to at least like level 75 or so before I start breaking Iridium Nodes, taking breaks from ladders, rushing to open treasure chests. You get quite a lot this way for sure. There are things that you can do to save time as you rush levels, like pause buffering, which means you can get into the menu as you go down a ladder or shaft to keep the in-game time from processing as you descend, or setting up a chair train from your warp spot to the entrance to save time. But that's if you really want to take your deep dive to the extreme. I don't really use those all that much, and I still make out like a bandit. Okay, let's look into the many uses for prismatic shards, as there are quite a few more from my previous video. This is a great gift. It is universally loved because who doesn't love some magic rainbow rock from the sky? I think it tastes like a bag full of Skittles, but maybe Abigail can tell us. So, by universal love, I mean mostly universal love. For some reason, Haley actually hates this, and she's the only one who does. Sure, it's probably not the best use for prismatic shards, there are better gifts to give out, but if you need a loved gift in a pinch, there you go. You will need to donate 1 prismatic shard to the museum in order to complete the collection and work towards perfection, but if this is your first shard, I urge you to wait on that for a little bit. I'll go over the best use for your first shard later. After you complete the community center with the Junimos, we can start working on fixing up the old abandoned Joja Mart. One of the items asked for in the missing bundle is a prismatic shard. If you need a little more money, shards are worth quite a bit, 2,000 gold a pop, or if you have the gemologist profession from level 10 mining, they sell for 2,600 a piece. Now, even though these are classified as gems for that profession, they aren't gems in the normal sense and can't be replicated in the crystallarium. Bummer. A prismatic shard is needed if you're playing multiplayer to craft a wedding ring. You can get that recipe from the traveling merchant, and with 5 iridium bars can craft it, which will be needed for your 100% perfection in co-op only. With this ring, you can propose to another player. And yes, they can still reject you. Again? Collect 3 prismatic shards and go to the desert on a Thursday, and you can trade for magic rock candy, which seems a bit pricey, but is actually also kind of worth it. This tasty, crunchy treat has some fantastic boosts to help you find even more shards. Okay, so let's say you got a couple of kids that have been staring at you while you sleep and you just aren't into that anymore. You can head on over to the witch's hut and offer a shard to the dark shrine of selfishness and let your kids finally fly the coop, as it were. I love using prismatic shards in my Junimo Huts. When you place a gem, the Junimos will change to that color when they pop out. Prismatic shards in here will have them cycling through all of the colors to match your fancy prismatic clothes that we can make with tailoring. You can tailor 5 different items with a prismatic shard. This matching hat came from the Desert Trader. Now there are 3 shirts. I like the one with the medallion, and 2 pants that you can get. Another use for the prismatic shard at a sewing machine, either Emily's or your own that you can get through special order quest, is the ability to dye your clothes. Normally, you can't get the dye sliders without using these dye pots here, with a little bit of every color, but if you use a prismatic shard while tailoring like so, it'll pop up to where you can have more control over the color of your outfit for one specific item. Honestly, I don't recommend using your shards this way, just use a rainbow shell as it does the exact same thing. Now on to what is probably the best use for your prismatic shard. Now some may say that this is a bit spoilery and you may want to solve this riddle on your own, so skip to here if that's you. After you get the Dwarvish translation guide from donating all of the Dwarvish scrolls to the museum, you can head to the graveyard and translate this headstone. It says, "Stand between the pillars 3 with a gift as precious as the sky. A rainbow forged from land not sea, then galaxies will heed your cry." So this message is referring to the 3 mysterious pillars in the northeast of Calico Desert and refers to a rainbow forged from land not sea, so the rainbow shell won't work here. Bring a prismatic shard on over and, well, this happens. You receive a very strong weapon, the Galaxy Sword. It also unlocks the Galaxy Hammer and Galaxy Dagger, and all 3 can be bought from Marlin in the Adventurers Guild. These used to be the strongest weapons in the game until the 1.5 update gave us some more later options, but it is a great weapon set that you won't want to pass up on. You don't actually need the Dwarvish translation guide to unlock these, but it's how you would learn how to get them without looking it up on the wiki. The next uses are 1.5 update spoilers, so this is an official spoiler warning for you. Here is the skip point for you to go to. Alright, after we have unlocked the Golden Walnut Room, after finding 100 Golden Walnuts, which I've made guides for, you'll have access to more quests to complete, one of those being the 4 Precious Stones quest. I personally don't like doing this quest as there are much better uses for my shards, but you can get some gems to use for other things by completing it. Lastly, which is the most fun, we have forging. There is a forge up at the very top of the volcano on Ginger Island where you can combine rings, make weapons stronger, and enchant your tools and weapons too. I have a whole video going over all about the forge here, but you can use prismatic shards with cinder shards to enchant things. There are so many great enchantments that you can get, like Bottomless for your watering can, or my favorite, Crusader for your weapon that allows you to slay mummies without bombs. It's definitely my favorite use for prismatic shards and so worth stocking them up for. Alright, so how did you find your very first prismatic shard? And if you haven't yet, which method on the list are you going to use to try to find one? What is your favorite way to use a prismatic shard too? And if you could eat it, what do you think it would taste like? Now that I have properly updated that first guide, I feel so much better and can rest now. Oh wait, no, it's Max Luck Day. Better get on that prismatic shard grind and find some more in the caverns. Well friends, I really hope that this cleared some stuff up about shards for you and helped you make decisions on what to do with yours, or helped you get your first one. Be sure to share this video with someone who may need it too. I'm Wickedy, thank you so much for hanging out in the valley with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!